performed a few impromptu briefings for you, as we will select one cadet per flight randomly to do an impromptu briefing for the wing. All right, and there's already a pre-composed topics here, Halloween based. Enjoy it. I'm going to choose from Charlie Flight, Cadet Worley. Now, Cadet Worley, along with the other two random cadets, you will have a 3-minute briefing. Like I said, we'll give you the topic. You have 2 minutes to plan. Cadet Worley's topic is, if you were trick-or-treating at Cadet Stevens' house and he didn't give you the treats that you wanted, what tricks would you play with? You have 2 minutes. Yes, so just think about it. Now we have to take care of it while he's playing.
Good evening, cadets. Just a couple of announcements about PT. First of all, we have the PFD coming up on November 14th, so make sure that if you had any problem areas on the PFD, you're really pushing those areas pretty hard. Hey. Oh, sorry. So the PFA is on the 14th of November, and if you have some particular areas that you struggle with, make sure you're really pushing us hard at PT leading up to that date. Additionally, please be very careful about signing in the mornings or the afternoons. Make sure that you sign in your name, signature, block every time that you're there, because it causes all kinds of problems for everybody. It's a big headache trying to go back and sort it out later. So please be very, very careful and be sure to sign in every time you attend PT. Thank you.
Now we have Cadet Worley.
Good afternoon, Colonel Charrington. Good afternoon, Captain Moffett. Good afternoon, fellow cadets. Today I will be briefing you over if Cadet Stevens was to give me bad candy while trick-or-treating at his house, what I would do to him. What I'll be discussing is, first off, the tricks that I would play on him, and then second, I will tell you why I would do these tricks. First off, the trick that I would do 2 tricks to him. I would do the classic first off, take dog refuse, put it in a bag, and you gotta ring the doorbell also, because they always want to see it burn. And the other trick that I would play is, I would cover his entire vehicle in sticky notes. The reason why you would cover their entire vehicle in sticky notes is because they have to take them all off individually. They can't actually drive away, or else that'd be littering and breaking the law. It would take a long time for you to take them all off, and it's very just annoying and tedious. And I mean, putting a burning bag of dog refuse on their front lawn is always a very classic and great way to just get back at someone if they're doing it, especially if they give you bad candy. I mean, you could just burn some candy for them, but I don't know about that. And that is all I have for my briefing today. I have briefed you on what I would do to Cadet Stevens if he was to give me bad candy, and how I would do it. Are there any questions?
2 questions.
What kind of candy did I give you? Well, you gave me a very small Hershey's bar, and I was told that at your house they're giving me the gigantic. I was very disappointed.
More questions and done. Job.
I think on Bravo flight. Yeah, Anderson. So you can think Harry Potter. You can think something else. But if you were a witch, what spell would you cast on Cadet Anderson?
I have good memory.
All right, in his 2 minutes, I'd like to announce that next week your fellow GMC cadets will actually take our place and run LLAB. with under the command of Cadet Simmons and Cadet Lisi. So get excited for that. What most of you all do not know, our last LLAB will be ran by the 100s. The wing commander, well, the cadet, well, cadet wing commander for that LLAB will be Cadet Anderson, and his vice will be Cadet Terry. I'll speak with you all here soon. We'll be brainstorming about how you'd like to have that LLAB ran. You have 30 seconds.
Okay, good evening, Colonel Charrington. Good evening, Captain Moffett. Good evening, fellow cadets. Today, I will be briefing you on what I would do to Cadet Anderson if I were a witch and Harry Potter, apparently. So, I've spent some time with Colonel, or not Colonel, Cadet. Okay, but I've spent some time with Cadet Anderson in the ping pong field, actually, the ping pong room, if you want to call it. And one spell that I would cast on him is to make him an awful ping pong player, in all sense of the game. And how I would do this is by essentially making it so that he can never hit the ball. So that everyone that we play against and everyone that plays him will beat him no matter what, because he often likes to talk about his wins with his other fellow cadets. And so today I have briefed you on what I would do if I was a witch and how I would cast a spell on Cadet Anderson, and that would be through making him a terrible ping pong player. Every other person or cadet that he would play against. Do you have any questions?
Two questions.
So, I got a question about,
Quick questions.
did you already put a spell on it for foosball in that same manner? Because
I think this could be applied to both games, actually, because I have had to do plenty of army crawls or low crawls under the foosball table this year. Yes, that's expensive. So I think this could be applied to both games, just to make him awful at every sport that I play him in, so yes, good point.
What verbiage would you use for casting this spell?
Great question. That's a really good question. I will get back to you on that.
All right. Alpha flies. Who is my coach? I will pick Billy. Billy, your briefing will be over if Cadet Smith was in a haunted house. What would make him scream like a little girl?
2 minutes. Start now.
2 minutes. Were you afraid of this?
Everything. Get out of
Just a quick announcement while Cadet Billy is planning. The POW MIA run is this Saturday. First of all, thank you to everyone that signed up to volunteer for that. But there's going to be emails going out tonight. If you all were wondering what time slots you had, there'll be an email going out with a full sign-up sheet so you all can confirm your times. You're also going to want to show up 15 minutes early. If you are on the hour or the 30-minute mark, you'll be on the east side of Boomer Lake by the memorial. That's where you'll show up 15 minutes early. And if you're on the 15-minute mark or the 45-minute mark, you'll show up on the west side of Boomer Lake by the first bridge. We're going to have 2 aid stations with water, so you don't need to bring water bottles, but you do need to be hydrated. And when you show up 15 minutes early, make sure to stretch. Does anyone have any questions about the POW MIA run?
What uniform?
You'll be wearing the PTUs. Thank you. So the uniform for that will be the PTUs. It might be cold, so if you need to, you can wear the jacket or the slacks. But you'll be in public, so make sure you wear the uniform correctly.
All in uniform, will media be there?
The colleague will be there, and they're going to be taking pictures, and they might be asking questions. But they're going to be writing a newspaper article. And if you have a conflict, let us know as soon as possible so we can get you out and get someone else in the schedule or change your times if need be. Thank you everyone for signing up. We'll see you Saturday.
Good evening, Colonel Charrington and Captain Moffett, fellow POC and GMC cadets. I am Cadet Machine Billy, and tonight I will be briefing you on what would scare Cadet Smith in a haunted house.
So bad that they screamed a little girl.
So bad that he could scream like a little girl. Now, my opinion of Cadet Smith is that he is a strong individual. But like many strong individuals, we all have our breaking point. And I believe if Cadet Smith were to be inside of a haunted house, this is what I think, if he saw Bigfoot, I'll finish, Bigfoot and the Energizer Bunny doing a little dance of, ring around the rosies and just pocket full of posies, I believe that would just scare the tar out of Cadet Smith. To the point of crying like a little girl. Tonight, I have briefed you over what would scare Cadet Smith to the point of crying like a little girl. Are there any questions or comments? Yes, Cadet Faulkner.
What is it about that dance that just scares the tar out of you?
More or less, I think it's the combination of Bigfoot, the Energizer Bunny, and a little kid's dance. You know, just all three together. It would scare me probably. Yes, Cadet Talbot, so you're in first.
Since it was scary for Cadet Smith, how ugly was Bigfoot?
Well, I've never seen Bigfoot. I imagine he'd just be a little bit taller than me, a little bit broader. Pretty ugly. Thank you very much.
All right, I got a few announcements too. Some general in nature, some specific. Keep in mind, we've got a few things coming up. It's going to be pretty busy. Always gets busy around this time frame with Veterans Day coming up. So that first week in November, first 2 weeks really, it's pretty busy with color guard events, requests for us to do other things other than color guard, and just a lot of people coming up and thanking you for your service and seeing you in uniform and stuff like that. So make sure, you know, if you're out and about in uniform, we're always on parade. That's a quote from somewhere. Feel free to know. We're always on parade, so people are always watching you anyway, but especially around Veterans Day, they're going to be watching you, come up and talking to you. So be aware of that. Be aware of how busy it's going to be and help out your fellow cadets who may be task saturated in some that way. We also have the honor of having a former astronaut. Is he former or still current? An astronaut coming on the 18th of November. It's a Monday. He'll be here around lunchtime. Whoever wants to come, but you know, as good a turnout as we can get. We'd like to have people come in. Not very many opportunities to be able to meet an astronaut and ask them whatever question you want. So we'll get you more information on that as far as where it's going to be and exact times and all that kind of stuff. Won't be a mandatory event, but I encourage everybody to come if you can, because once you get out of this environment, those opportunities get less and less where you actually get to meet these kind of people. So show up if you can. All right, a couple other things, just some general reminders. I just got done talking to 10 or 12 cadets that are getting close on their PT absences. Can't let your absences get away from you. 80% attendance is the minimum. If you fall below that, you will no longer be a cadet, and there's no option for you to become a cadet again in the future. So don't get up to that last absence and then have a flat tire or run out of gas or something to try to use that as an excuse. If you put yourself in that position by having no wiggle room. So come to PT, come to lab, come to class. Don't put yourself in a position where you cannot be a cadet any longer because you didn't show up. So another
thing I've been noticing is, and we mentioned it a couple times, your flight manager may have said something to you about it as well, but remember to acknowledge emails when you get them, especially if it's directly to you and it's telling you to set up an appointment or, you know, turn in this paper or do this or do that. If it's something telling you to do something, acknowledge that you got that. Otherwise, we're sitting back at the detachment not knowing if you got the tasking or not. So sometimes I've asked for something to get done, and it's 4 or 5 days before I see an appointment show up on my schedule. You should be checking your email every single day. I was briefed to you the first day you got here, at least once a day. You should be checking your email. And if you get that and you set up the appointment, all you got to do is shoot an email back to them. Got it, sir, understand, will comply, whatever. You know, it doesn't have to be a long email. 2 words is fine. But something that lets us know you're going to take care of that action. That's going to carry over onto active duty. A lot of things are happening where we're dealing with people that are in other states. A lot of our units are geographically separated. So you're doing a lot of your management through email and phone, and you have to be able to have good communication. If you don't have good communication, you have no idea if that unit's doing what they're supposed to be doing. So get in the habit now of, you know, replying to emails quickly, setting up your appointments quickly. Now, obviously, if we send out an email to the entire Corps saying PT has changed, I don't expect 80 emails back saying, I got it. But if I send out an email to 3 people saying, I need an appointment from you, those 3 people I expect to email me back and say, I got it set up, sir. Or I'm setting it up with Ms. Murray tomorrow morning, or whatever. So that's kind of the expectation. So keep that in mind. All right, POWMIA run. Awesome job by Ed Juarez and his team, Ed Isaacs and whoever was working on that, Ed Frechette, I know, a few others were helping out. Somebody over here? Oh, yeah. Yeah. So good job, all you guys. I mean, it's a lot of hard work to put this together. Thanks to all those people that have signed up. To those that had a valid conflict and just cannot go, really tried, but just couldn't make it fit in their schedule, thank you. I encourage you to look at it again next year or the next time we do it and get signed up for it. To those of you that completely blew it off, 48 people signed up, so that means 30, something like that. People didn't sign up. Some of those I'm expecting are valid reasons. You're gonna be out of town, just can't do it. To those though that thought this is my day off, it's optional, I'm not even gonna give it consideration, I'm just not gonna do it, I would ask you to reconsider what you're doing in the program. There was over 2,000 POWs and MIA from Vietnam alone, and over 400,000 between all the wars that the U.S. has been in. 400,000 people that have sacrificed their lives for this country and not come home. We're either held in camps or we're missing in action and we don't know what happened to them. I think they've earned 15 minutes of our lives. So if you're one of those that kind of just blew it off and said, I'm just not going to do it, I don't have any conflict, I'm going to sleep in, you got a 24-hour period to give up 15 minutes of your life to recognize some of these people that have come before us. So I would ask you to relook at that, re-examine why you're in the program, what you want to get out of it, what you want to get out of being a commissioned officer in the Air Force, and then maybe come back and if you can give up 15 or 30 minutes of your life, talk to Ed Isaacs about getting into that spot. There's some people that are running 2.5 to 3 hours to keep that flag moving because not everybody signed up. So it's an optional event, you don't have to be there. But if you can, and you're just completely blowing it off, I would ask you to re-examine why. All right. Last thing for me, I wanted to publicly acknowledge Cadet Anderson and your wing staff. You guys have done an outstanding job this semester so far. It's been a tough semester. 2 cadre members in versus 4, a small POC corps, lots of changes that are happening as we've been trying to improve the corps, and your staff has been doing an outstanding job. There's some growing pains, everybody's learning here and there, but they'll talk, if you GMC talk to the POC about it, it's a steep learning curve going from being told what to do every day to, I gotta tell everybody what to do. And it's a steep learning curve. And your staff has just conquered it. I mean, you've done a great job. So, if you will pass these on to your senior staff, maybe it'll help keep some notes. But they've been doing an awesome job, so I just wanted to publicly acknowledge that and say keep it up.
Thank you, sir.
That's all I got.
Thanks, sir. Thanks, sir. With that, Terry, Cadets Henderson, please see me real briefly after we finish up. We're about to dismiss. Flight chance, Alpha.
Alpha Flight, attention up! What flight are we? Alpha Strong! All day long! Standing tall! You do no wrong! We've got biceps, triceps! Alpha Flight, you know you're the best! You will fly, you will fight! The world will know your might! Because we are Alpha Strong! Alpha Flight, attention! Bravo, flood! Like a boss! Impromptu! Like a boss! Air Force One! Like a boss! Bravo, flight! Like a boss!
Drive like that. Drive like, are you motivated?
Motivated, motivated, downright dedicated, moves like lightning, sounds like thunder. We put our enemies 6 feet under. Ooh, shine light!
That's nice. Good job. Real quick, as far as the review, look for email correspondence with that. We'll have the review from this lab at the beginning of the next one. If you have any questions, come see your POC leadership. With that being said, that's 670!